Quiana Woods is a mother, a wife, an exciting, kiddish individual who's still a kid inside that tries to be an adult in this growing world. Well, of course, I think we've all had a couple of rock bottom seasons. That's how life kind of goes. It's a roller coaster. One of the biggest ones I remember is I was suicidal for 7 years. It started when I was in the 6th grade. And it really got to the point where I started realizing how much I felt lonely and fatherless and worthless. And to get away from my pain, I began cutting myself, thinking that if I took myself out, maybe my father would hurt like I hurt, and he would miss me as much as I missed him. I remember screaming, yelling, crying out, locking myself in closets. Hearing so many thoughts in my head that I wasn't good enough, and I wasn't pretty, and I was never gonna be anybody's love of their life, or nobody was gonna want me or appreciate me, or I wasn't smart enough. I was gonna be just like my mom, alone, working in retail possibly, unhappy, depressed. It wasn't one. I knew him from my grandmother. I have a family that's big on church. Not so much a teaching relationship, but just tradition, just how to clap your hands, how to stomp your feet, how to sing, how to shout, run around, get excited. But really having a relationship to know that I could talk to him, it wasn't there. It wasn't there at all. I thought it was so pointless. I felt like I was talking to the air and nobody was listening, like nobody could hear me. And then I remembered, it was so weird, my 10th grade year, and I had my coach. She sat me in the office and she said, "It's something about you and I want you to be a trailblazer for this Christian group." And I said, "I don't know what that is. I don't know why you're picking me, but hey, I'm bored and nothing else to do." And that year, I ended up going to a camp for a week. And I remember being in my room. We had cabins and I couldn't sleep. I was up all night. And this lady named Miss Kim, she walked up to me the next day and she was like, "You couldn't sleep last night." And she wasn't in my room, so it like freaked me out because I was confused. I was like, "Ma'am, have you been watching me?" But she started to talk to me and she began to pray with me. And I felt myself get so much peace and so much anger just like left my body. And I remember closing my eyes and seeing my grandfather. And he was saying, "You're okay. You're all right. You're okay." And I just felt like God knew right then who I needed to hear from and what I was looking for. And he gave me somebody that I remembered to actually come to me and help me see that he was real. I remember that. I met my husband my 9th grade year in high school. Our senior year, we ended up doing this play brother, play sister type thing. And I went off to college and he went off to his ways. And he ended up sending me a Facebook message. And he said, "Hey, I want you to ride with me to this event." And I was like, I like him. I don't know where we're going. Maybe we're going on a date. I went to Forever 21. I bought some clothes. I bought some pants and a shirt. And I did my hair and my makeup. And I was like, I'm ready. And he gets me to this event and sits me in a room of people and walks out. I'm completely confused. But it turns into a moment where we start working together. And we start spending a lot of time together and learning each other. And we start sharing very intimate moments with each other. And not just physical, a lot of emotional intimate moments. I opened up with him and let him know that I was still suicidal at that time, that I still had breakdowns. I still had moments where I would just go in the closet and scream. And he didn't run away. He didn't make me feel bad about myself. He didn't look at me like I was crazy. He looked at me like he loved me and that he wanted to help me through it. And I kind of thought about how God loves us so much. And even when we don't love ourselves, and I just thought it was so fascinating that God would match me with a guy that could love me when I didn't love myself. And it's been 5 beautiful years with a great guy, and I love it. I love him. He's the biggest role in our life right now, period. We wouldn't be here. Being 25 and being married in this society without God, not possible. Not possible at all. It takes a lot of praying and communication, and I've seen him change myself over the last 5 years in just my patience in those moments that I want to give up, because there are so many times where we may have disagreements in our marriage, and the usual way I would do it before really getting that relationship with God was just to be like, forget it. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be married. I don't want to be a mom. I just want to leave. I want to go to the army. Just get away. That was really my answer. I'll just go. I'll leave. And God would whisper small things in my ear as, come on, Quiana, that's not right. Go back and talk. Apologize. You were wrong. Don't say that, because I was so quick with my mouth. I still am sometimes. But God is working on me. But I've learned to vent my thoughts to him first. Get his opinion, get God's opinion on what I should say and how I should say it so that it's received better in my marriage. So it's definitely because of him that we've been able to last for 5 years. Well, I remember being in a house and I was so angry, and I went in a room and I closed the door and I yelled. I had had enough. I think my daughter was calling my name. My husband and I were not on the same page. Finances were extremely tight, and it seemed like we were losing everything so fast. And we were eating dinner and my daughter said, yeah, like mommy went in the room and cried and screamed like that. And I felt so bad to be that person in front of her. And I was like, I can't do that. I can't be this weak in front of my child. I'm her example. God has given me such a beautiful gift. And she's watching me to learn how to grow. She's watching me to learn how to pray and how to fight this life with God. And if I just go in a room and scream and give up, what is that showing her? So being a mother to my daughter and my son, because he's already loud, it's really showed me patience and a genuine love. Like, these children love me. And it's so unconditional. Like, I don't even know what I'm doing half the time as a parent, but they love me. Like, I make mistakes, but they just find it funny. They love me with all of my flaws. And that is how God loves us. He loves us despite if we're perfect. He loves us that we love him. And because I love my children, they love me, and it's really made a big difference. We constantly talk. I have to talk to God every day about everything. Sometimes I'm like, am I too spiritual? Am I overanalyzing what I'm asking? Because everything is like, Lord. But it gives me good balance. It keeps me in control. It keeps me knowing what to do and how to do it and where to go. And that's the biggest thing I'm so thankful that God gives me direction, because I'm lost without him. It sounds like a cliche, but I'm a little ADD at times. So really having God to say, go this way, and kind of don't. I need that. And so I'm thankful that we have that relationship, that I can talk to him every day. I can talk to him in the car. I can talk to him at home when I first wake up, when I'm eating, when I'm just in the restroom. When I finally get a quiet spot and nobody's talking to me, I can talk to God, and I love it because he doesn't care who I am. He's answering me. He's answering my prayers, and I'm just thankful. Well, that camp I went to in the 10th grade, I've been back to that camp for the last 5 years as a volunteer, working with youth, and really sharing with them how I got through the suicidal moments. You know, how I could be the popular girl but felt so lonely. That's where a lot of kids are at. They're very known. A lot of people like to be around them, but when they get home, they're lonely. And they don't have anybody to talk to, and they feel like they're by themselves. And there's so much that goes on in their homes that we don't know about. And so I've just used my story and being in a single parent home, and how I got through it, and how God met me right where I was. I use that story to help them get through school and get through life. And even now, being young and married, I find so many couples or friends that are single, and they want to know, how do you do it? And I always tell them, I don't. It has nothing to do with me. Nothing I've done up until this point would have got me where I'm in life if it had not been for God planning out what he wanted me to do. I am so excited about the 16th event. And the reason why is because over a year ago, I met Miss Porshea Wilkins. And I'm very private with how I allow people into my life. I'm very closed off. It takes me a while to get comfortable with somebody. And I really have to talk to God and see, is she real? Is she genuine? Do I like her? I don't know. And over time, she began to open up to me and just share her love. And it was times that she sat with me and she opened up her life story to me and things she had been through. And that's God. For me, that's how God communicates to me. When I find somebody I can connect with and they can be open with me and transparent, that's such a green flag for me. Like, yes, you're God sent. And when I remember her telling me, I'm gonna do this call, and it was, I think she was going to New York or right before or whatever, and she was like, I'm gonna do this call. And I was like, okay, all right, a call. She was like, I'm gonna get women on the call. They're gonna share their stories. And I was like, I wanna be a part of it. I was like, but maybe I'm not in the right spot. I don't know. But she has allowed myself and my husband to be a part of this great vision. She's allowed us to capture moments and hear her talk and hear her wisdom, and I appreciate it so much because we feel apart. We definitely feel apart, and it's not many places you can go. We have a lot of women on one accord, and I love that she has allowed God to use her to make the platform with Straight Talk, Women Talk, to have women come together. It's important. We need each other because there's struggles that I have and other women have already had, and I get to hear them and how they got through it. It's so good. I think in the Bible, Timothy tells us for the older women to teach the younger women. And so it's so good that I have a place where I can go, where I have my elders, as I call them, to teach me what to do and how to war and how to make it through this life. I am Quiana Woods. I am strong, I am confident, and I am one of the 333.